you're the one with the truth, right? Yet you're the one who's not advocating for it the most.
When you're united with somebody else for something that is temporary, that unity is also temporary and it's dependent upon that thing, right? So when we are united upon the deen of Allah, then that is true unity.
Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wakhlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin ya rabbal alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Haris Ahmed and I am your host today for the first episode of the RDA podcast. Welcome here with my brother Ubaidur Rahman, president of the Rijana Da'wah Association. Welcome.
Alhamdulillah, we're blessed to be here.
Alhamdulillah. Before getting things started, inshallah, this is just the first episode of the RDA podcast and it does not involve all the content which will be in it. And this is just an introduction to what the Rijana Da'wah Association even is, right? We'll just be talking about what is the Rijana Da'wah Association, where did it come from? So we understand who we are at the end of the day, who you are listening to right now, inshallah. So just to get things started, inshallah, a couple things I've understood or I've learned from October the 7th, right? Two things which really stood out to me, and two things which I really and I think everybody should really look at it and understand it from a strategic and different perspective, right? How social media and the censorship behind it, right? How even after so much oppression and after so much disgusting stuff which has happened, we still cannot speak the truth without getting shunned down, without getting shunned down by the media. So that's one thing which it was always there before for the Muslims and the non-Muslims, right? This was always there before. Yes, the media does shut us down, but to be honest, it was not expected to this degree, that even after so many deaths or whatever, the censorship can still be this high. And another thing which really was eye-opening was the unity of the Muslim Ummah, right? Especially at a time like this, when the Muslim Ummah has been divided so much and oppressed so much. So inshallah, this podcast is not only to give content, for entertainment, but no, this podcast aims to provide a platform where we can talk about the solutions and the importance of the Muslim Ummah and the suffering going around in the Muslim world, inshallah. So let's get started, inshallah. So yeah, first question for you, my brother. What is the RDA?
Okay, so the RDA stands for the Rijana Da'wah Association. It's kind of in the name, right? So the RDA is an initiative that was started for the community of Rijana to increase the Da'wah efforts, right, within Rijana. So we know there's many amazing organizations that are operating here in Rijana. So we have Muslim Aid Saskatchewan, we have the University of Rijana, MSA, we have many of the masajid around Rijana that are doing some amazing work. May Allah bless them and accept their work. But, we felt that there was kind of a gray area or an area that was missing, right? Which the RDA aims to fill that area, right? So it's about a group of passionate Muslims coming together and really taking the da'wah game to the next level within Rijana, and inshallah leave a little bit of that impact on the rest of the world as well.
Jazakallah khair. And to understand the importance of something or to understand what something is, we have to look at its origins.
Mm-hmm.
So that follows my next question, which is where did you guys come from?
Right.
What is the origin of the RDA?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is a question that takes us back, obviously, right? So the origin of RDA, it all started a little bit, we're relatively new. It's going to be a year and a few months of us kind of operating in Rijana, alhamdulillah. But it started with one brother. His name is Brother Dilyar Hussein. He's a brother from Rijana. What he started to do was he noticed that there was nobody out there like some of the Christians, right? And the missionaries that go around talking to people about their beliefs. So the brother Dilyar over here, he took this in his own hands. May Allah bless him for it, right?
Ameen.
So he got a bunch of Qur'ans, like the English translation of the Qur'an, of course, and he would go to Victoria Park and he would speak to people. So he would give them the Qur'an, he would talk to them about Islam, kind of convey the message of the deen, and talk to people, tell people about Tawheed. And he was kind of doing that all by himself. And the way things work, subhanAllah, and it's so beautiful, Allah's decree, is just a few weeks later, there was another kind of wake-up call that was going on. That was not only Brother Dilyar, but another group of people, individuals, right? Which I'm gonna go into detail. So one day I remember I was at the bus station, I was heading home, and these Christian missionaries, they came to me to speak about Christianity and talk to me about their beliefs. And they gave me a few pamphlets and I took those home, right? I went home and I was really sitting there on my chair and I was wondering. I told some of my brothers, I told my brother Harris over here and some of my other brothers about this, about what had happened. And we all started to think, it's if these Christian missionaries and so many other people out there in Rajana that are going out in public, protesting for, we've had the recent boycott, the strike that the Rajana school board teachers, they did, right? Because, for public education and whatnot, right? There's many people out there advocating for their beliefs. How come there's no Muslim representation out there in Rajana, right? So this was kind of the question that really woke us up, opened our eyes.
Just to add on that a little bit,
Yeah.
especially it really hits, when you know as a Muslim that you have the truth. You're the one with the truth, right? Yet you're the one who's not advocating for it the most. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to add on that a little bit.
It's like our iman is, the kalima that we have is the greatest blessing that we have. And Allah has blessed us with everything. And this is something that's above it all. And if we're keeping it to ourselves, then that makes us selfish, right? And it's unfair and unjust towards the honor that we've been given, right? So we really kind of took this to heart, and we started, wondering, it's like, we should be out here. We should be, talking to people, spreading the message of Islam, right? And again, like the brother mentioned, this was before October 7th, right? But still, there are many misconceptions about Islam and Muslims. So again, that was just another addition to why we should be out there. So we spoke to one of our teachers, which is Imam Hassan from the Saskatoon Dawah Center. And he told us, it's like, what's stopping you? Just go right ahead. Because, there's the quote, there's a saying, right? It's the best time to plant a tree was before when you thought about it, right? But the second best time to plant a tree is now, right? So, and there's a saying of our beloved Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that you should rush towards good, right? And this was an amazing opportunity for us. So how could we drop it? So that's exactly what we did, alhamdulillah. And we formed a group chat, and we kind of started gathering some brothers that we knew that would be willing to take part in this. And it was known as the Rajana Street Dawah. That was the name. Right?
The first name, right?
The first name, but there's a whole process, subhanAllah, coming out with the names, the logos. Oh, that's a whole nother story. But it took us a long time to end up with Rajana Dawah Association. That's all I'm going to say. But alhamdulillah.
For many of the viewers, just to add on the name, but before Rajana Dawah Association and even and after when we had a Rajana Street Dawah, because nobody really knew what Rajana Street Dawah was, we changed it to Dawah Squad. We got some people understood what Rajana Dawah Squad was, but then we changed it to Rajana Dawah Association.
Yeah, there's a lot of Forerunners Dawah Association. Yeah, there's a lot.
But a lot of names.
Yes, it was finalized to RDA.
Alhamdulillah.
But yeah, just to get back into kind of the story, the origin, right? So we went from there and we started, alhamdulillah, planning this, da'wah out, how we're going to go about it. We got, Brother Dilyar joined us as well. Just, so he was one of the first few members to join us.
Yeah, just something to maybe add is that once we created the group chat, right, and we had the plan or whatever that we're going to start street da'wah, inshallah, it's a great initiative. By chance, this was like in Ramadan, like Allah brought the wonderful brother, what's his name, Dilyar, right? he introduced us, and then we found out, no, he's already been doing street da'wah, right?
Mhm.
So that even added more momentum and more pressure on us to get it started even.
Yep.
So he was the first original, I would say, street da'wah guy here in Regina.
Yes, for sure.
Allah
May Allah
bless
bless him.
Ameen.
And yeah, so he used to order the Qur'ans, the English translations. So that was already a setup for us. So we had our manager, Brother Dilyar, so we could get started right away, alhamdulillah. So we did just that, and we started to give da'wah like on tables, like a tabling, street da'wah. We used to go down to Wascana Park, and we used to go down to Victoria Park. Those were the two main locations that we would be doing da'wah. We would try to do this at least once every week. Some days, some weeks more, some weeks, we would obviously, we wouldn't be able to show up, but we tried to be as consistent as possible, and alhamdulillah. We kept it going for quite a few months. Again, like it's almost been a year now since we've been kind of doing this, right? So this was the initial start, but the problem is that we kind of got stuck in that place where all we were doing is the street da'wah, and even that was like once a week, and that's something I think should be done more times a week, right? Or there should be more engagement for the community. So we were stuck in that position for a little while, for a few weeks, just right there. For the sake of the da'wah in Regina, we felt this was not doing justice.
Mm-hmm.
And right at that moment, we had the knight in shining armor that Allah sent to us as a blessing, and in the form of Brother Abdul Fattah Al-Ras. So he came from Saskatoon to attend the medical school here, and what he brought with him was many of the skills that he had been building up for a long time, right? He has skills in creating organizations and growing them, right? So he's the founder of Amal Club, which is a humanitarian aid club in University of Saskatchewan, in Saskatoon. And this club is a humanitarian aid club, and he's also part of many other organizations and other initiatives, and he's helped kind of grow them, right? And so we really benefited from what he had to offer, and he came and he really changed everything for us, for the RDA.
His administrative skills, right?
Yeah.
His experience, which mainly was the thing we were lacking here, right? With the street da'wah and all of that stuff, because we ourselves as like 19, 17, 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds, we did not have much experience in administrative skills, right? But this brother who's been running all these clubs, even though are quite the similar age, so much ahead of us, mashallah, and really benefited us, alhamdulillah. Took us to the next level, right?
For sure, right? And so what we did when he came was we figured things out. We had a lot of meetings, that's for sure, and we definitely we started organizing things in a lot better way, in a more efficient way, and we even went out. We spoke to some of the leaders in the community. Brother Abdul Fattah, he spoke to Imam Masloh from the IAOS multiple times, multiple meetings, and myself and him, we spoke to Sheikh Ali from Dar al-Falah, also seeking advice from him to make sure that we don't take any wrong steps, right? Because again, this is something very important but also sensitive, right? This is a matter of da'wah, and this is something to do with preaching the deen of Allah. So we had to be sure that we were doing the right things and taking the right steps. So we continued that, and alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, RDA is what it is now. It's nothing big, nothing crazy, but inshallah, we really truly hope that RDA can really benefit the community in Regina here, especially, but for the Muslims and the non-Muslims, and even internationally leave an impact, some kind of impact.
Inshallah. At the end there, you mentioned this is what we're trying to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you could elaborate on that, which also leads to my next question.
Yeah.
RDA.
Yes.
What is RDA trying to do here in Regina? What are you guys trying to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So again, like I mentioned before, there's many organizations in Regina that are doing some amazing work. May Allah bless them. So what we don't want to do is replicate their efforts. We don't want to copy them. We don't want to take their starlight or spotlight. We want to fill a gap that is present in Regina, so that the da'wah can flourish here, and we can step up the da'wah game to the next level. And one thing again we noticed was there was no one-to-one discussions, one-to-one talks, interfaith dialogue, like debates and whatnot, right? So all of this was missing like one-to-one dawah. So this is kind of what we wanted to specialize in, is to fill that gap. Again, is the fact that was really kind of there for all of us is when we return to Allah and Allah asks us, right? It's what did you do to serve my deen? And what did you do to establish my deen? How are we going to answer Allah, right? And so this is something that would, be there for us. This is an excuse that we can present to Allah. We can say, Ya Allah, we tried this, we did this, and we made some efforts. Even though they were broken and weak efforts, we tried something. So this was kind of the aim to step up the da'wah game to the next level in Rajana. So yeah, alhamdulillah.
Any future events or any future things planned?
Currently, at the time of this recording at least, we're planning to do the collaboration with IERA. They're offering us training here in Rajana, like da'wah training. So that's coming up next on the list. But by the time this podcast / episode is published already, you guys might have seen it or attended already. But yeah, so this is what's coming up.
Alhamdulillah.
More in the future, inshallah.
Inshallah. Really great. How are you guys trying to accomplish the goal of unity? And so, how we're trying to do all of this stuff, but how are you trying to accomplish it, if that makes sense?
Right. Yeah, unity is a very interesting thing, right? I feel like many people have the wrong understanding of unity. Is when you have unity, when you're united with somebody else for something that is temporary, that unity is also temporary and it's dependent upon that thing, right? So for example, if we're united for a business deal or something, right? As soon as that business deal is over, khalas, it's over, right? We are not united anymore. Anything else worldly, right? So it's to accomplish a mission that will end before or end sometime, right? That has an end. So for example, establishing something or an organization or scaling a business up to whatever, right? As soon as that's done, then we have no reason anymore to be united. But Islam, being united upon the deen of Allah is different, because this is an endeavor that doesn't end, right? This endeavor goes into the afterlife and towards having that position in the highest place in Jannah, inshallah, right? So when we are united upon the deen of Allah, then that is true unity, right? And for us to do that, we have to let go of our egos. We have to let go of any ill will, jealousy, anything like that, right? And be united for the sake of Allah and put the deen first, right? And for us to do that, it's very important to keep that in mind, right? Is to know what unity truly is before we can work towards unity, right? So the next thing, now the question is, what are we doing to achieve this unity within Rajana? Is one amazing thing is, again, having that discussion within these organizations, with the community leaders, so that we're all on the same page, right? Because we have to kind of be there for each other and to be the support for each other. And many of the past events we've done, alhamdulillah, they've been well. They've brought some awareness about the RDA and this collaboration, right? Is that we've had collaboration with all these events. I don't think a single one was just us.
Yeah.
Right? So all of them have been collaborating with the amazing organizations. And this is, again, one of the primary ways of achieving this unity.
What were some of the organizations we collaborated with, for some of the viewers which would don't know?
Right. So we've collaborated with U of R MSA, we've collaborated with Muslim Aid Saskatchewan and the Muslim Medical School Association of Rajana.
Carmichael Center.
Darul Falah Islamic Center. And yeah, I believe that's it, alhamdulillah. And more in the future, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, I think that wraps up this interview, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. It's pretty much everything we have for today. Just hope that you guys are there and supporting us and supporting our cause. If you have any questions, if you want to know more, you can always visit our Instagram, social media platforms.
100%.
Right. And we have a mission statement there too, so you can really, really find out more about us. And you can always feel free to email us or DM us.
100%. Any questions or any future podcast ideas, drop them down in the comments, inshallah. Subscribe to your brothers so you can see what's most updated, inshallah. But I think that's it. That's all we got for tonight, inshallah. يلا جزاك الله خير. Thank you, my brother. Inshallah. See you guys next time.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.